Hi loves.
This is the part 2 of a video I've already uploaded on my channel, and in that video we've already learned how to draft this jacket. Today we shall be learning how to sew the jacket. What is so fascinating about this sewing aspect of the video is the fact that I'm going to be teaching you two different methods in sewing a jacket or a blazer. After watching, you choose for yourself which of the method will best work for you. I want you to also know that this jacket is a double-sided jacket. When I say double-sided jacket, I mean you can wear this jacket on both sides, okay? Both the wrong and the right side, you can wear it. Today you can wear one side of the jacket and look casual or African, and tomorrow you are wearing that same jacket but you are looking official this time around. This is how unique this jacket is. I shall be leaving the link to the part 1 of this video in the description box. Kindly check that out after this video. That video is the most simplest and easiest way of drafting a jacket. These are my pattern paper cut out on my fabric pieces. I've added about half an inch allowances all around when I was cutting. I'm basically using two fabric pieces. The first one is the Ankara fabric and the second fabric is cotton bridal satin. You know we have different types of satins. Each of them was 1.5 yards, which means I ended up using 3 yards. 1.5 for the Ankara and then 1.5 for the other blue color. These two in front of me are the front pieces. We have the side front and the center front. With the side front, I've gone ahead to cut 2 pieces for the Ankara fabric and 2 other pieces for the other blue fabric. In the center front, I've gone ahead to cut the same 2 pieces for the Ankara fabric and the same 2 pieces for the other blue color. I've gone ahead to iron hairstay, also known as the medium fusible interfacing to the center front on all the 4 pieces. This is the reason that the center front is where our collar or our lapel is going to be folded. So we need a little bit of stability, a little bit of stiffness over there so that our lapel can relax perfectly. These are our sleeves. 2 each also, and it was cut on fold. And we have our collar here, so that one when I was cutting I made sure I cut that on fold. 1 piece for the blue and 1 piece for the Ankara. The last I would love to talk about is the back pieces. So for the back pieces, we have the center back and the side back. Also, I made it 2 each for Ankara and blue color. So similar to just what we did for the front pieces, okay? The next thing we have to do is we have to go ahead and arrange all the pieces and take it to our sewing machine and stitch. So this is the first one, that is the side front 2 pieces. Make sure when you are arranging, you arrange them rightfully. Next is to bring the 2 pieces center front this way and arrange it that way. This arrangement was done with the right facing of the fabric facing my table. So whatever we are seeing now is the wrong side. So I'm going to be arranging it this way and I'll stitch to the end, and I also arrange this other side that way and also stitch to the end. That's just all for our front pieces. Let's move to the back pieces. So this is the center back and this is the side back. So let's go ahead and arrange that one too. I shall be stitching this way, that way, and this other way. At this point, I was done joining all the pieces, this for the back and this for the front. Also gone ahead to do the same thing to the blue fabric. Now I'm going to be showing you 2 methods you can use to make this blazer. I'll use the blue satin fabric to teach you the first method and use the Ankara fabric to teach you the second method in making suit. I shall be teaching you all the 2 methods in making suit. When you're done, you choose the method that best suits you. I shall also be sharing my experience with you to help you choose which of the method is best and which one is very convenient, okay? Let's start with the first method with the satin fabric, which is the most common method. I shall be placing the front piece on the back piece this way, right side facing each other. I'm going to be pinning that and I'll do same to the other side. I'll take it to my sewing machine, stitch that way and also stitch that other way. I'm also going to be stitching this side and that other side too. And for the sleeve, I'm going to be folding the sleeve and I'll be stitching my half an inch allowance. I also fold this other side, stitch my half an inch allowance. I'm done with the stitches. These are my two sleeves. The sleeves are set. This is the jacket and this is the armhole of the jacket. There is the other armhole too. What we're going to be doing is we shall be inserting our sleeve to the jacket. We have to always ensure that the right sleeve is going to the right side of the jacket and the left sleeve is also going to the left side of the jacket. What I always do is that I always start my pinning from the joining. I don't just like it. When I'm done sewing, I realize that my seam lines are not in sync or they are not well aligned. I always want all my seam lines to align. That makes your work professional. Always start your pinning from that side of your jacket. With this method, I'm going to be showing you the main challenge or the discrepancies you are likely to face when you are going for this particular first method. So what you are likely to face, in fact, not you, almost 99.9 of designers will face this, and that doesn't mean you didn't do your cutting right or you didn't do your joining right. It is normal. You are likely to face it, okay? And this is the problem. The problem is that either the sleeve will become wider than the armhole or the armhole is wider than the sleeve, and when that happens you cannot join it throughout. One will be bigger than other, and when one is bigger you have to go and then stitch to reduce it. Do you get? So sometimes it could be the sleeve and another time it could be the armhole. So in my case the sleeve was wider than the armhole, so I have to take it to my sewing machine, stitch again to reduce the circumference before it matched up. And in fact the stress you will go through to do this adjustment it's not easy, okay? I want to be very sincere with you. The number of minutes I use on this first method is way more than the number of minutes I used to work on the second method, okay? So if you're a beginner, you don't want to go through all this stress, all this hula baloo, then I'll advise you go for the second method I'm about to show you, okay? If you think you're a professional or you are a super, okay, then you could opt for this method. That's why I said 99.9 of people. So the 1%, they are there, okay? Take it to my machine and stitch around that way for both the sleeves. Moving to the second method with the Ankara fabric. To me, this is the most simplest and the most easiest method so far. Let's get started with the second method. I'll arrange the back piece this way. Place the front piece on top of the back piece, ensuring that the right side are facing each other. I'll be joining the shoulder line this way. Do same to the other side too as well. At this point, we are done with all the joining. Now, the next thing I want us to do is to move forward to working on our shoulder part. With the shoulder part, I'm using half an inch foam. The normal foam we use for hip padding and the rest, that's what I'm going to be using. So I'm going to be folding it this way. I'll mark 3 inches all around that way, and I'll cut through to get something like a semicircle. Once I was okay with that, I'll place it on a different foam, cut the same shape out. Now our two shoulder parts are ready. We're going to be using it for padding our shoulder. The last thing I want us to do on our shoulder part is to trim the edges of the semicircle this way. The reason to doing this is to contour our shoulder part and to ensure that the edge of the curvy part of our shoulder part is curvy, flat and uniform. Now let's continue to attaching our shoulder part and the sleeve to the main jacket body. This is the seam allowances. I'm going to be opening it flat that way. You need to open it flat. So I'll take my shoulder part, mark the midpoint for both. Open the seam allowance this way. Place the midpoint of the shoulder part on the midpoint of that joining that way. I'm going to be squaring that with my pins. I'm attaching this shoulder part to the wrong side of the bodice. I hope you can see that. This is the sleeve. Let me rearrange that way. So this is the facing, this is the right side of our bodies. So I'm going to be placing the right side of the sleeve on top of the right side of the bodies this way. And I'm going to be securing that with my pins all around the sleeve. So when I'm done, I'll take it to my sewing machine and stitch the part where I'm pinning, making sure I'm using my half an inch allowances, nothing more and nothing less, that way. So if you don't get it, let me now explain it better using the other side of the sleeves. This is the flat part of the shoulder part and this is the curvy part. So do you know what? The curvy part must face the wrong side of your piece. That way. This is the wrong side of my sleeve and this is the right side of my sleeve. This is also the right side of my bodice. I'm going to be attaching it that way. Do you get? I hope you can just see that. Right side of the sleeve and the bodies are facing each other. I'm going to be stitching that way, ensuring that I'm stitching through the shoulder part as well, using that same 1/2 inch allowance. Now I'm done with all the joinings. Next is to go ahead and complete all the other joinings. So this is the same line for the armpit area. We must always ensure that those two seam allowances matches. That's why we shall be starting all our arrangement from. Please, if you start the arrangement from the hem of the sleeve or the hem of the jacket, those two seam lines might end up not aligning, and when it doesn't align, it's not professional. So you need to start all your arrangement from those two seam allowances. When that is done, all other things will fall in place. I shall be doing same to the other side of the sleeve, and I'll take it to my sewing machine and just stitch just as I illustrated already. Okay, all done. I'm done with the stitches on both sides. This is how it's looking already. The next thing we have to do is to go ahead and attach our collar to the jacket. The curved part of the collar is where we shall be attaching to the blazer. The first thing I have to do is from the edge of the collar, I shall be measuring 2.5 inches. This is where I'll be stopping my stitch so that we can have that separation between the lapel and the collar. So I'm just marking 2.5 inches on all the two collars, and I'm going to be notching that this way so that when I'm sewing I get there, I know where I'm supposed to stop. I also find a midpoint that way. Already our midpoint on the jacket is showing because we did a joining over there. I'm just going to start my arrangement from the middle that way. Securing that with my pins. I'm going to be doing that all around. I'll take it to my sewing machine and stitch. When I get to that 2.5 inches, I have to stop. That is where I have to stop. Remember, we have to also do the same thing to the satin fabric. So these are my two pieces. The collar was joined to the blue and the collar was also joined to the Ankara. I'm going to be arranging the two pieces this way, right side facing each other. Since the shape and everything on the blue is the same on the Ankara, so I'm going to be aligning each of the parts. Where the curve should meet, it must meet. Where the seam line should meet, it must meet. Everything must meet, everything must align, everything must be in sync. Okay, just go ahead and pin everything around. This is just for easy sewing and easy handling. Okay, I'm going to pin everything round. I want to style the opening center front of my jacket. This is always to your preference, depending on how you want to contour the jacket, the shape you want, or how you want the center front to really look. You could leave it like this and that will work perfectly. That is another style. If you go deeper, it will become another style. If you curve it just at the tip, it will give you a different style. If you come up to curve it to the tip, it will also give you a different style. Okay, just go ahead and style it the way you want, style it to your preference, and style it to your taste, you know. Then when you are done, just take it to your sewing machine and stitch all round. Okay, all round. You are not even leaving an inch opening, like close everything up. Okay, this is how simple it is. Close everything up. Now I want to show you something different here. I want to show you how you should go about the stitching. It's not just about stitching all around. There are some tips and tricks that you have to employ. You don't just have to start and then you stitch everything wrong. No. By the time you turn it, everything is dancing as on to. So let me just explain this to you. When you are stitching and you get to this point, end your stitch there. Okay, don't continue. I take it again. When you are coming this way and you get to this point, end it there, don't continue. And when you are stitching from the other side and you also get to this point, watch closely. This point, also end it there. Always make sure those two stitch points meet. That's just the trick. But if you stitch straight and you get here and you continue and move this way, when you turn it, it won't work out. Everything right there will not even work out. So end it here, also end it there. That's just a trick. I hope that is clear. That's the same way you should treat the other end too. You don't just start your stitch, move around to come to hit that particular stitch again. No, there are breaking points, so break where you have to break and continue. Okay, at this point, let me just go ahead and trim the excess of my seam allowances away. So there are also two ways, just as I was talking about. You could just notch. When you notch and you turn everything, the jacket is going to relax. If you don't want to notch, you could go and trim away some of the excesses of the seam allowances. That way too, when you turn it, it's also going to relax. So just choose the method you want to go for. Choose the one that will best work for you. Okay, I'm done with my trimming and this was it. So the only opening we have in this jacket is the sleeve opening. Okay, just at the hem of the sleeve, that's the only opening we have, and that is where we're going to be turning this whole jacket out from. Okay, so that is what I'm doing right now. I'm turning my jacket from one of the opening of the sleeve. Remember, we stitched close all the part, the only opening was the sleeve. That is where we are turning it from. Watch closely. I'm turning my jacket from that end. When you get to the pointed or the curved part, you can use your scissors or your loop turner to help you push the shape out. Okay, that was exactly what I did to get what I achieved. When I'm done, I'm also going to be pushing the sleeve inside that way. I'm going to push the blue sleeve out from the Ankara sleeve this way, and I'll fold my allowance, which was half an inch, inwards towards the wrong side of the blue sleeve. Can you see that? And I'm going to be ironing. The reason for the ironing is to create creases, or what is popularly known as ghetto. When I'm done with that, I'm now going to push the blue sleeve inside and let the Ankara come out. Then I'm going to be folding the Ankara sleeve to half an inch allowance inward towards the wrong side of the Ankara sleeve. Okay, and I'll iron that too as well. So that is the same way I will do to the second sleeve. I'll push the blue sleeve out of the Ankara that way, fold my allowance half an inch, press that with my iron to get my creases. Once that was okay, I will push the blue inside and bring the Ankara out, and then fold inward half an inch, which is the allowance, and that is towards the wrong side of the Ankara sleeve, and I'll press that too to also get my creases. Can you see that? I hope this is clear. When that is done, the next thing is I'll have to bring out the blue sleeve to match up with the Ankara sleeve, making sure the edges are all in line. Okay, none is longer than the other, they should all be equal. I will take the same line of the Ankara fabric and the same line of the blue fabric this way. That's where I will start my arrangement from. Pin that so that they will always align. With this, I'll take it to my sewing machine, stitch all around. I'll make sure I'm stitching so close to the edge of both the two sleeves. Okay, I shall also do same to the other sleeve. Then I'll take it to my machine, join all the two. In my case, everything was perfect, everything aligned. But when you are sewing and you realize that one is bigger than the other, don't worry, just stitch to reduce the size so that everything can align. Okay, when I was done, I tried comparing the two methods, and in fact, the difference is not that much and it wasn't even visible. If you're not watching with the eyes of a critic designer, you might not even see the difference. Oh my goodness, look at that. Can you see that? Oh, I'm seeing it alone. Neatly finished. There is no seam allowance showing anywhere. You can't debate. Like, you can't debate about this dress. Everything was given. It was as though this dress was sent straight from heaven. look, if you have learned something new or this video have updated a knowledge you already have, then kindly go ahead and smash that like button. You can also comment. If you've not subscribed, do so. The dress is really giving.